Um, Hello to anybody who is potentially watching this video. I have sort of on a whim decided to record this. I'm not going to put my name out there or anything like that. If anyone sees who knows me, who's put put a comment or anything like that, fine. But at the same time, I'm not going to say anything about myself. But the only thing you need to know is that I'm a white British citizen, and I'm using my access to a social platform where freedom of speech is allowed. And with that in mind, I'm not going to rant about this kind of thing, and I'm not here to vent about my woes of the world and all that stuff. It's just normally I tend to stay out of this kind of thing when it comes to what's going on and stuff. But I have slowly come to realise that as a father, that I want what's best for the future generation, and I just want my opinion put out there because I just feel like this is all I can do. With as somebody who doesn't have a lot of sway over what gets done in the world, law-wise and politics, all that stuff. I'm not getting into it, but I've just got to put it out there. Like, one of the many things that I am mad about with the world at the moment, and if this, miraculously does well, I'll obviously make more and, that sort of thing. But that's not the point of why I'm doing this. It is just for anyone who sees this video, comes across it, algorithm allowing, just to know what my opinion and what I've got to say. Anyway, enough waffling on. I'm kind of I'm missing the point. The reason why I'm making the video is because with everything that's been going on in the British part of the country, in England, is one main very big thing. And if you don't live in England, you might have heard about it, but I don't know. But unfortunately, semi-recently, we lost a poor young man. I believe that's what they identified as. I apologise if I'm wrong. But Henry Novak, and ever since I heard about it, I've not been able to shake it because of one main big thing, and that is mostly due to the fact that despite that having happened, and it happened because of someone's religious beliefs. And now I'm not saying that the religious belief is wrong, because, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. And, there's nothing that can be done about that because that's their religion. They will always, no matter what you do, if you had power to try and take that away from them, you never will, because that's their belief. And it would be wrong to also take that away from them. And I'm not saying that we need to have an uprising, like some people are saying, and taking it to the extreme, and justice for Henry Novak and that sort of thing. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve justice, because he definitely does, but not to the extremes that some people are saying that we should all go to. Definitely not. But what I am saying is, and what I'm so angry about, is that our government has not issued that we're allowed to defend ourselves or carry something to even the odds against people who might be carrying a knife because it's allowed, or just might be carrying in general, or might be threatening your life in some capacity, who might end your life, injure you seriously, anything like that, threaten your life. And to that I say, any country is ran solely and wholeheartedly by its people, not the shitty government. Yeah, that's just how it is. That's how it always will be, because the masses will always win if, collectively we all think the same. And now I'm not saying we should do something massively to such a large scale or anything like that. Absolutely, not. I'm not. It would be nice if we could, if we could all think the same, but we can't ever have that happen, because everyone's unique in their own way, and that's lovely. That's what's beautiful about humanity, to an extent. But it's when people use that, their differences and what makes them unique, to exploit and harm other people, that then it starts becoming an issue. And anyone in their right mind would realise that it's not right, and it's against every fibre of our being not to be able to carry some level of defence on us. And I'm not saying it's going to immediately turn the tables. I'm saying that I think that if anyone who wants to start thinking for themselves in a world where a device can think for you, like AI and that sort of thing, if you want to start thinking for yourself, wake up and do that. Think for yourself. And I think the world would be a better place for it. And if you could just realise that the only opinion that matters, and this isn't just about defending yourself, this is about everyone. This is LGBTQ+. This is people of different skin colour and race, and people from different countries that speak different languages, people that have a different religion, even the religion that is currently in question with Henry Novak. All of those people, the people that you might qualify under, if you can think for yourself and realise that the only opinion that matters is yours, to an extent, obviously, there are some things that you should just not do, regardless of what you think is right or wrong. And I'm putting this message out here to say, we, as the people, will always run this country, no matter what anyone thinks, or anyone in power seems to have an ego, and they think this, oh no, I'm in charge. No. I'm sorry. The country, just England, let's just say England, not any other country, just England right now, belongs to the people. No matter who's in charge, you can put anyone on a pedestal above the rest. There will always be someone who tries to be above the rest. That person will never have true power, and they know that, because England belongs to the masses. And I can't say that enough, because it does. If this country's people were to rebel in some capacity, there'd be no stopping us. Obviously would end horribly. And I'm not saying that's what we should do at all. So do not take this out of context. I'm saying that it belongs to the people. And I genuinely believe that and hope that if people do see this video, they don't think to the extreme like some people have done. And that's what I'm trying to fight against now with just this video, because it's just all I feel like I can do. And you know, I've come out on a walk today just to get away from everything, and just because I feel hopeless. I feel like there's not really anything I can do. So this is my outlet, I guess, against that. And I hope it does reach the people who need to see it. And I'll keep the video up regardless of how well it does. I don't care. I just want it to be out there. I hope that it reaches the right person. I hope that it stops someone thinking negatively about themselves just because someone else thinks, you know, differently, or is racist, or doesn't think you should identify as this or whatever because you were born a woman, you shouldn't be a man, blah 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 blah. You know, that's wrong. That's, you feel how you want to feel, and you be what you want to be. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And I want this video to reach the right people, and I want it to just recreate hope in someone who has lost it. And I'm not expecting it to work miracles, you know. Immediately, I've seen this video, boom, cured, mental health gone. Wow, you know. And I just hope it does reach the right person. I just feel like that this is all I can do in regards to that. And one last thing about defending yourself. If you can, regardless of what the law says or anyone says, with the things that have been happening and the things that do happen in the world that are in the moment, no one's there to stop it. Like, the most horrible things. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want this video to get demonetized and then, you know, people then can't see it. But you know what I'm talking about. People forcing themselves on other people because they can and they want to, and then obviously the stuff that happened to Henry Novak, and it has happened to other people in the past and will happen again. And because we know that it will happen again, because there will always be horrible people, there will always be people that exploit the weak, try and even the playing field. Say fuck it. And even if you do get caught for holding it, like having it on you, you know, and don't go ballistic over it. Just say, I'm afraid of the world that I live in because of what's been going on. And if you agree with me, then you will. You must be, on some level, you must be afraid. And I've also just got to reiterate as well, is that I'm not saying 100, after watching this video, that you should go seeking out bad people, and that with these weapons I'm saying that you should fight them, you know, like a vigilante or a superhero or something like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if someone comes up to you because they're carrying and they're trying to do something untoward, or even worse, you know, they're trying to kill you, or they're, you know, trying to mug you, or, you know, something like that, they're just horrible people towards you, you can level the playing field. Now, I'm not saying kill them because they're trying to kill you. I'm saying make them afraid of you as much as you are currently afraid of them. You know, you don't have to act on those feelings, because obviously that doesn't make you any better than them. But levelling the playing field might mean that you walk out of that encounter alive, or at the very least better off than what the person was intending to do to you. Say fuck it. Say screw the rules. My safety and my right to live and feel safe in my own country while I'm just walking around, minding my own business, not incurring anybody's wrath, or not provoking anyone, just minding my own business and being a good person. Yeah, you should feel safe in your country. And if you don't and you agree with this video, just it's so sad that I've got to make, I feel like I have to make a video like this with with everything that's been going on. It is genuinely horrible. I feel like I keep going on tangents, and I do apologise for those that are getting semi-irritated at watching this video if you've made it this far. But just think for yourself. Think for yourself and think about you and the people that you care about. Even if it is something so minor and you go to a nearby store and you buy a can of deodorant and you might walk out of a very nasty encounter, if you are able to get to that spray can of deodorant in time and use it to get away by blinding the attacker, or I don't know, something, just something so minor, even if it's not a weapon. If that's what that is your right as a human, to be able to defend yourself, and your government is saying, no, you can't carry weapons of equal deadliness or less than. You're not even allowed to carry, you're not even allowed to carry blunt weapons or anything like that. I carry this, and it's just a walking stick that I've needed in the past because of an injury that occurred to me. But normally, I apologise if I keep fumbling my words. I'm not fantastic at communicating in any way. I've got ADHD and autism. I don't care if that goes out on the internet. That's something I feel like, everyone should be okay with telling people is, something that affects you in that way. If it does, that is something you should not feel self-conscious about telling people. So anyway, please just try and take what I'm saying as something you should start thinking about. You should really sit down with yourself after having watched this video, if you do, and think to yourself. And that's it. You just got to think for yourself. That's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to think for yourself. You've got to think about your safety. You've got to think about the safety of those that you care about. There is nothing wrong with that. But your government thinks there is. Can't carry blunt weapons, which is less deadly than a sharp one. But people that have it as part of their religion, and I just want to say, again, don't think it's a bad thing that you have a religion, regardless of whatever reason it may be. Having a religion isn't wrong. If that's part of your religion, so be it. But if it's a deadly weapon and people can abuse that religion to carry around a deadly weapon. And it has now been made very apparent that we need to defend ourselves. Things might have been potentially different for Henry Novak if he had some level of defence on him. And I'm just saying that as an English citizen, I think that we should learn from this as a situation and learn to think for ourselves and defend those that we care about from people with terrible intentions, regardless of what anyone says, regardless of who tries to put us down, regardless of what the government thinks law-wise. And then, like I say, if you get caught, just say, I'm carrying this because I feel afraid of the country that I live in, and that the people, like the police, like the government, aren't doing anything about it, aren't doing what they should. Now, I'm not saying I know, if I was in charge, oh boy, I could change this and that, I could do this and that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I'm using my access to a social platform to get my opinion out there to do exactly that, and to say and hopefully change people's minds about how they think and allow them to maybe open their minds to thinking for themselves and helping them realise that it's okay, regardless of the law, to defend themselves and the people they care about. For whatever reason they may feel like they need to, or do need to, because there is someone who is either actively threatening their life, or is being aggressive, or wants to force themselves upon them, and is taking away their right to feel safe. And that's it. Please, just be safe out there, and I hope that if you see this video, please share it if you feel like that this message was helpful to you. I'm not going to be like all the other content creators and say, oh, subscribe, because that's not the point of this. This is just to get it out there that I want people to be safe and I want them to think for themselves. So I apologise for the rant and how long this has gone on for. And I'm sorry if I've had to repeat myself a couple of times. But I got there eventually, and I hope that it made sense. Please do let me know in the comments if you do see this video, if this was helpful. And please do tell me if it has changed the way you think, or, you know, even if you don't live in England and you're not currently dealing with our government right now, just tell me how it has potentially helped you and how it's made you feel. Even if it doesn't make you feel very comfortable, we can talk like people should, and share our opinions. I'm okay with that. Like, you know, obviously try and be nice to each other, try and be nice to me, you know, I'm just a citizen just trying to do what they feel like they can with the limited power they have. And just be respectful. Not just on YouTube, but in real life. Just be respectful. Just try and be better. We could all learn how to try and be better and think for ourselves and care less about what other people think, and care less about laws that are on not being able to defend ourselves and carry weapons of equal levels of harm to someone who carries it because religion, or just carries it in general because they're an aggressive, horrible person. I think we need to level the playing field, and that is what this video is for. And I hope that you stay safe out there, and I hope that this video has helped you. Thank you, and stay safe and take care. Goodbye.